Hello, everybody. This is your host of the Game Corner, Joe Show, here with Goat.
How you doing, ladies and gentlemen?
Today, we are thinking of starting off with a request that we had outside of the studio. A good friend of mine by the name of Max John wanted to know if we could play some RuneScape. So today, we're going to start off with RuneScape's Harmony.
I love it when requests come in. It shows that the people out there really are listening to what we're saying. So
It does, and I appreciate the fact that people are aware that we exist. Instead of just, not even listening to us at all.
That's not cool.
No, it's not. So here we are with RuneScape's Melody. That was RuneScape's Harmony, and we have another guest with us today in the studio. Say hello to Max, everybody.
Yeah, I'm back. I said I was going to be here, man.
Man.
I told you.
You said you'd be back, and you are back. And I feel like since we talked about Valve and Bethesda earlier today, I
Yeah.
think it's more we talked about a little bit more of independent indie developers with
Okay.
Indie games.
with the release of Cuphead by those two brothers whose names I can never pronounce. I feel like it's time to call back a little bit of attention to Undertale. And not in the way that a lot of people want me to. I'm not going
Like
to...
the fan base?
Yes,
The fan
no.
base. We don't talk about
we
that
don't
here.
we don't talk about the fan base of Undertale because as cool of a game as it is and as introspective as it is, I feel like the fandom, and I feel like this is happening with the Rick and Morty fandom too as of late. It's becoming increasingly
Szechuan.
Szechuan sauce.
Szechuan sauce.
it's becoming a very toxic and very it's like you had to watch it, and if you don't watch it, you're not a smart person. The jokes are for smart people. Like, I have a friend who moved to Wisconsin this past year. He doesn't like it, and it's just like, yeah, that's cool, but people bash on him for it. But anyways, Undertale. Max has never played it. Max
No.
doesn't know anything about it.
Nothing.
I've played every ending, so I know
Ditto.
it throughout.
Have you beat that final one, though, in Genocide?
It took me hours to do that one.
It took me days to do that one.
Like, I was crying at the end.
I know. And I feel like that's what the thing is supposed to do. So, for those of you who don't know, including Max, Undertale was a game made by
Toby Fox.
Toby Fox, an independent developer,
The same guy who made...
music for Homestuck.
Yes.
And he also created a ROM hack of Earthbound for Halloween. And back then, his call sign, or whatever you want to call it, was Radiation. So now he's just known as Toby Fox. He's made a lot of music. He's really talented in the terms of composing music, as we'll see soon. But he decided to go up and make a game for himself. The Kickstarter was backed highly, and a lot of people got rewards from it. But the basic story is that you are a child that falls down into a hole on a mountain because nobody knows why you were up on that mountain. But it's legend that whoever goes up on this mountain doesn't return. So you fall down a hole, and there's monsters in this hole. But, like, not monsters as most people would think it. Like, the very first thing that you meet is a flower that swears to kill you.
Flowey.
Oh, God, I hate that flower. But, and then the second one you meet is literally Goat's mom. Not Goat's mom, Goat mom. Or her
A
name's...
distant relative.
Your mom?
Yes, his mom's a goat. But but no, her name is Toriel, and throughout the game you have a choice. Whenever you have a random encounter, it has random encounters like Pokemon does, or like
It's kind of like Final Fantasy
yes,
in that
it is.
regard.
But contrary to a lot of other RPGs, you don't have to kill your opponents because it gives you the option to either spare them. Or fight them, and depending on what you do, there's 3 different possible routes that you can get, with like 21 different endings that you can get depending on who you fight and who you don't fight, you know? And there's a neutral run, which is where you kill some people and not kill others, and that's pretty much everything. And then in that ending, you get to leave the underground, as it's called, and get back to human society, but you leave the monsters behind. There is a pacifist ending where you don't kill anybody at all, and then you actually it's not just you don't kill anybody. You actually go back to your enemies that you spared and learn more about them and their daily lives and their relationships with others, and it's really heart touching to see the ending. And the music is really beautiful at the end with the piano and just watching the sunset between the mountain and the city, and it's so pretty.
I have a soundtrack of that music, and I listen to it every now and then.
Oh man, and the music itself. Oh jeez, I listened to Toby Fox when he was making Homestuck music.
Right.
And his most famous track, Megalovania, has appeared in all 3 of his pieces, I suppose.
It was in that Halloween special, right?
It was in the Halloween special first as Dr. Andonuts' final boss theme.
Yeah.
And then it was...
Homestuck.
It was in Homestuck for the theme of Vriska, who was this spidery girl. I'll explain.
I wouldn't know.
I will explain off camera or radio or whatever we're on.
Third mic.
But
There we go.
But whatever the case is, and then for the last one, there's the third run. There's the Genocide run, which is not just you kill everything you see. You go out of your way to kill everything
Like
until there's nothing
Well,
left.
yeah, that's
Like there are hidden monsters that you have to go out and find.
Oh yeah.
It's a bit hard.
It's a hard game to do, especially with the Genocide run. It's like the game is actively telling you, don't do this.
Yeah, there's a lot of different games that you touch on different subjects like that, and
Mm-hmm.
so it is cool, and that is I love that. That's why role playing games are my favorite.
Yeah, and I would really suggest playing this, but the thing
Yeah.
is like your actions aren't without consequence, because you get to the end, And both in a neutral and a pacifist run, there's one character that you do not fight.
Ha.
And I'm not going to say who, just for spoilers and whatnot. But in the genocide run, you fight him. And Ben and I can both attest, he is extremely difficult.
Like, okay, in the lore of the whole game, you learn that in like any of the neutral or pacifist runs, you learn that he only has 1 HP. And because he's like so lazy and stuff, I don't know how that comes to be.
The game's the game's description of him literally says the easiest boss only has 1 HP.
Yeah.
But the thing is yeah, he only has 1 HP, but you can't hit him.
Yeah, he dodges all of your attacks.
And in between your attacks and his attacks, he dialogues about this whole thing, and supposedly he has the ability to warp time, as is very evident.
And he says he's already tried all of this or something like that. It alludes to that there's a lot more that you don't know.
Oh yeah, and I really love that mystery about it. And there's supposedly a hard mode that's in development. There's like a sample for it up until you get to the first boss.
Oh, I remember that. When are they gonna put that out?
Coming soon, probably.
In 4 years,
maybe not. Valve time.
Yes.
But I'm looking forward to it because it is a little bit different. There are a lot of puzzles that are changed. There's a lot of characters that are changed as well. But when you finally beat this guy, you had to break the game to do so. Like you literally break the physics of the game, which is really cool.
Yeah.
Then you face yourself, quote unquote. And I have no words, honestly, to describe this other than don't play it at night in the dark. It is nightmare fuel.
Max, coming from an outside perspective, how would you look at this game from like not even knowing what it looks like?
From what you said, you're talking about like what do I think about it?
From what we've said and from what you've seen of the game, if anything at all.
It seems interesting in what you've talked about. I definitely like that the different decision making things like, that's always good. And I personally like. It seems very story driven from what you've seen. Every character's got a backstory and everything.
There's a ton of dialogue.
It's mainly dialogue based. In fact, that's how you spare most of the monsters. One of the examples is there's a guy that one of the first enemies is freaking frog, and you have to compliment it in order to mercy it or spare it.
No, it was the dummy.
No, the dummy is not a real fight. That one, it doesn't matter whether you punch it or not. The ending is the same with that one. But the first live monster you fight is a Frogget. And Frogget.
So we're talking about Valve, right?
Oh God. Oh God.
We're talking about stuff like
it's hit or miss with this one with Valve.
Honestly. But we'll get to that right after this. Speaking of Undertale, up next we have Asgore.
My personal favorite, gotta say.
So it has come to our attention that we might be experiencing some technical difficulties. So please be patient with the music. For those of you who are in breakers right now listening to this, we greatly apologize. For those of you who are online, no matter, you can still hear it and understand this. So we're going to continue. But anyways, speaking of Valve.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
a kick in my liver.
We're on that subject now.
oh my goodness. This was it hurts, man. I still play Team Fortress 2. I still am on the market. I recently unboxed my first. Well, I didn't even unbox it. I actually had to buy my first unusual.
Ooh.
It was a Orbiting Planets engineer's cap, like the old style train cap, and I painted it Noble Hatters Violet. The value soared up like $20 immediately.
Did it cost like $50?
Yep, $50. For a virtual hat, which astounds me.
Yeah.
The fact that an item that does not exist can be worth,
Well-
in the case of a Burning Team Captain, that's like $16,000 right now. That's enough to pay for this whole college. Well, not the like
Oh,
the college
the
tuition.
whole
The
college.
Yeah, the whole thing.
the
Buy the
college
property.
tuition. The college tuition. But anyways, but yes,
If I had 16 grand, I would buy Lakeland just to run around it.
I would buy the White House. Why stop here?
Yeah.
excuse us for a moment, folks. It seems that someone wants to come in.
Oh no.
Knock, knock.
I'll leave you folks with Phoenix Wright's Cornered.
Objection.
No. We're not leaving yet. This isn't over.
I object to your music changing. Objection.
There are no objections in my court.
It's great to have the juice here.
The juice here.
It's
On the
twice today.
On the game corner.
Wow, what a way to come back.
Uh,
All right. So, anyways, on the subject of like Team Fortress 2 as a whole, if this Pyro update does not come out by the end of October, I'm declaring TF2 officially
Oh.
dead.
They've actually made an announcement
I
yesterday.
know, but it says it's coming soon. They've been saying it's coming soon since last July.
There
no,
was-
are we on this subject again?
I feel like we are, and it's a different hour. There are different people listening. I'm just gonna talk about it again. There was a blog post for the TF2 team that says they're not even calling it the Pyro update anymore. They're calling it a major update, and it's like major.
Well, they're also going to release a short animated film.
Yeah, there's gonna be a 5-minute long animated short, which is going to be interesting. I hope. Maybe it's
Yeah.
gonna be about them traveling to the jungle. Who knows? But at this point, it's not a Pyro update. It's not a jungle update. It's just a major update. Please do not touch that.
Touch it more.
Whoa.
But anyways, but like, they said it's coming out soon. Not in a week soon, but soon. If I have to go through one more year of recycled Halloween crap,
Right.
I'm going to just officially leave Team Fortress and just sell all my crap and just...
Get out before it burns up.
Pretty much. This economy is not going to last, folks. I'm just putting it out there. And by this economy, I mean the TF2 economy. But
Well,
like...
It's not that like it's a bad game. It's just that Valve Like I hear it seriously understaffed Team Fortress 2.
It's not even that. It's like Valve doesn't care about it anymore. Valve doesn't care about it anymore because they can just literally do nothing with it, and they make money off of it every single day.
Like if they cared a bit more, they could be making a lot more money.
Exactly. If they cared more about this game and they put more attention and effort into this game instead of just taking stuff from the community, then they would actually, like, believe me, there was a talk about it being turned into an animated television series.
What?
Yeah. Do you know Expiration Date, the short?
Of course I do.
That was supposed to be the pilot episode for a show about Team Fortress 2 on Adult Swim.
I actually wouldn't mind that.
Exactly. And then here was what Gabe Newell said. We wanted to do this, but then realized it's pretty f***ing hard. Fill in the blank here. And that's a direct quote. So just because it was hard to do, they didn't chase after it.
They could have made so much money on that with just merchandise and
Exactly.
like real life things.
And you know what? It's like Blizzard would not have had Overwatch if they had given up on Titan.
Right.
Because here we are with Valve, who's officially given up on Half-Life 3 because it was too hard and the community was too
obnoxious or something.
Exactly, I guess. And then the only thing that they're pushing out now is a Yu-Gi-Oh ripoff for Dota called Artifact, and they're not even coming up with original content anymore. The last time they had any sort of original content was in 2007.
The big giants in the gaming industry are getting lazy. And you know what's coming up? There's going to be an indie uprise.
I hope so. And with the indie uprising, there's going to be a lot of demand for people like me hoping to go into voice acting, or people that are going to go into animation or programming or art. And I feel like that is what's going to make it a lot easier for people to get discovered, quote unquote, and a lot easier to make money, quote unquote. Because and I don't mean money like big money, but like enough to sustain you, you know?
Right.
Like, I'm not going to have to work at a dead-end retail job if I can land some voice lines. Like, for example, for those of you who are listening and play Overwatch, I can do really good deep voices. Like,
do an example.
For Roadhog.
Oh, no.
For Roadhog. Oh, come on. It's not that bad. But, like, for Roadhog, it's... Say bacon one more time.
That was really good.
Exactly. Or, like... With Jack Morrison, the Soldier 76, it's like, get over here and heal up.
Get over here.
I'm not your father. But like those kinds of voices, and I really want to start putting some of that content out there. And the best thing about this kind of line of work, quote unquote, I guess I can call it, is that anybody can do it. Yeah. If you practice and you put your heart and soul into it, you can do it. But for right now, I think we're going to take another break, and this one's going to be another one straight out of Team Fortress 2. It's Archimedes.
Just a quick note before we head to that song, Joe Schmo.
What is that?
This is a message to Valve, if they are listening.
I highly doubt they are, but go ahead.
Take control of your Team Fortress 2 again.
Restock the team.
And maybe the fan base will grow because of it.
I hope so, and then you'll make more money.
Mm.
Anyways, here is Team Fortress 2's Archimedes. That was Archimedes, performed by the Valve Studio Orchestra for the game Team Fortress 2. We're going to take a short commercial break, and we will be back with the Game Corner.
Thinking of getting engaged? Tired of mall shopping where all the jewelry looks alike? Cameo Jewelers is the store to shop for beautiful, unique diamond engagement rings, silver fashion, and Disney jewelry. Why shop online when you can get the same pricing and better quality at Cameo Jewelers?
2 store locations, Menor and Chardon. Menor store liquidation, 50% off Pandora.
Remember the 5 C's when buying a diamond. Cut, clarity, color, carats, and Cameo.
Bring in your Lakeland ID for a special discount. Check out our website, cameojewelers.com, Facebook and Twitter.
Here at Lux, we focus solely on hookah. We have an extremely knowledgeable staff, and we always try to make all of our customers feel at home. This is where true hookah enthusiasts come to smoke. Our prices are reasonable, and our service is outstanding. We are a hookah lounge in the purest sense of the word. A hookah lounge designed and staffed by hookah fans for hookah fanatics. To top it off, we always go above and beyond. We are meticulous in everything that we do. We make sure that your hookah experience is of the highest possible quality. If it doesn't taste right to us, then we won't serve it to you. Majority of our customers turn into regulars and eventually friends because we pride ourselves on our product and service. It's just that simple. We want you to enjoy yourself and expect you to leave happy. If you want the best hookah experience, you come to Lux, located at 37939 Vine Street, Willowby. We invite you to come experience the flavor and see what you've been missing. We hope to see you soon.
It's Lake Effect.
Watch us live at www.livestream.com/Lake Effect.
Lakeland Community College's post-secondary enrollment option program is a great way to backcheck your team's high school diploma, college credit, or college degree. Go to our website at www.lakelandcc.edu.
And we're back.
Ooh.
Yes.
Nothing like a good commercial with my morning after.
I'm not going to ask that.
No.
I don't think that is something that I want to delve into, especially since you're a goat. But anyways, so while we were away, we were discussing Pokemon, and not just Pokemon Go in general, but like I feel like a lot of people after Gen 4 start saying that they were running out of ideas for designs, and I disagree because it takes a lot of creativity to make a living thing out of a non-living thing, and to give it a little bit of backstory as well. Like, one of my favorite examples to use is Palossand, who's in Sun and Moon. He's a sandcastle. He's a ground ghost type, and at first it doesn't look like anything, but then you read his description about what it does, and apparently it drains people down in quicksand, absorbs their life force, and then leaves their bones underneath it.
Spooky.
Exactly. I feel like a lot of people are undercrediting these designs and their descriptions, and they're just like, you try coming up with over 1,000 monsters and not having some repeats, okay?
I can agree with a little bit of the aspect that they're running out of ideas. Like, I'm like, come on, the ice cream Pokemon.
I just like how like you could look at anything in a room and you could like envision it.
That
as
microphone,
a
it's a Pokemon.
I was just thinking that. I was also thinking like the doorknob. Like, imagine. Like, is there one? I don't know.
Dude,
That would be sweet.
Actually,
there's a keychain Pokemon.
There's a literal key Pokemon, yeah.
Oh.
And I love it, honestly, because it can
loathe it.
Well, do you loathe its design, or do you loathe the way it's used?
I loathe its design. I like the way it's used, just not its design.
I like the design, but I will say one thing. I thought that little pink dot on it was its eye for the longest time, and then I saw the 2 black holes on either side blink, and I'm like, what is this? I've been lied to. But no, there actually is a microphone Pokemon. It's called Meloetta.
Oh no.
I will show you guys an image here.
Please indulge us.
It's not exactly a microphone. It's more like a It's more like a singer.
Oh, that one, yeah.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
go Pokemon Go this later.
Oh.
Yeah. There's two different forms of it. There's the singer form that has like the little headpiece, it's called the aria form. And then it has a pirouette form when it uses a certain move, and it changes types, it changes forms, it changes stats and everything. And then there was one, let's see here. And some of them are actually not even made from objects at all. They're made from mythical creatures. Like, look at this thing. This is Keldeo here. This thing right here. It's got two different forms as well, but it's based off a ichthyocorn, which is a unicorn fish thing. And personally, I really like it. I really enjoy it. There's a diamond Pokemon.
One of my favorites.
There's
in
the
the one of my favorites in design is what's the name? Was Shedinja? That's it.
Shedinja.
I like
Yeah.
I like Mew the most. I think Mew and Mewtwo is pretty cool.
Mew and Mewtwo are the originals,
Yeah.
But Shedinja. Here we go. So this is Ben's favorite,
Yes.
and the reason being
Kind of reminds me of you.
Because the
the hole on its back.
Yeah.
The description for Shedinja. Ben, enlighten us.
So this was an evolution of Ninjask, which was basically designed after a cicada, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And this is, how cicadas in wild like lose their shell, and you just see them like hanging on a tree, right?
Yep.
Well, this is basically that incarnation of it, and for some reason it is haunted by the cicada that it was before, and there's a hole in its back, like historically purposes for the bug crawling out of its shell. But if in the description in the Pokemon games is that if you look at the hole in its back, it will steal your soul.
The other thing is, and it's not just cool in its description. It's not just cool in its like mythos. It's also cool in how it's used.
Oh,
because-
Wonder Guard.
Oh, Wonder Guard.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, Wonder Guard. Max, for your information, there is an ability called Wonder Guard, and it prevents it from being damaged by any move that it isn't super effective to. So Shedinja is a bug ghost type, which means that it's only weak to fire, rock, dark, other ghost types, and I think flying types. So only 5 types of moves will hit it. Everything else won't do jack to it. But in exchange, it only has 1 HP.
Like someone else we know.
I was looking at it and like I know it's your favorite.
Yeah.
It kind of reminds me of you. It looks like you.
what is that?
If you
It
were a
looks-
Pokemon, that's what you would be.
You know what?
I would be a soulless husk.
I mean, I can see it too.
I do.
Honestly.
Don't. Yeah. See.
Now,
Yeah.
This
Oh,
is
boy.
my favorite. This is Garchomp.
Oh yeah, that one's awesome too. I like that
Yes,
one a lot.
this
yeah.
one was in Gen 4. It's based off of a land shark. And
Yeah.
apparently it can soar over the land at jet speeds, which is interesting because it can't learn fly.
Ha!
So it's a dragon ground type, which means it's quad weak to ice. It's 4 times weak to ice.
Is it a dragon or is it just
It is-
a big lizard?
It's a dragon ground type. And you know what? For the longest time, I didn't know why dragon types were weak to ice.
Right?
Do you know why they're weak to ice?
Because of cold-blooded?
Exactly. And I did not know that for the longest time, and I don't understand why. But there's new games that are coming out called Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. And for the first time in a Pokemon game since Platinum, you get to go to other worlds.
Yep.
You get to travel between dimensions on a legendary Pokemon and visit other dimensions. In fact, one of these other dimensions, all of the light has been stolen by this one creature.
It's like Pokemon turning into a sci-fi movie.
I hope so, because they're taking the game in a direction that it has never been taken before. Because instead of only being able to travel to one other world, you're able to go to I think it's 8, maybe 9,
Jeez.
and one of them is complete darkness, except for one entire pillar of light that they've made themselves. All the natural light is just gone from this world. And speaking of Pokemon, I think it's time for a song.
What do you have for us, Joe Schmo?
Today, we're going to, speaking of Sun and Moon, we're going to take a little page out of the little Edgelord's theme himself. This is Gladion's theme from Pokemon Sun and Moon. And we're back. Now, while we were off mic, we did have a little interesting revelation. Who remembers Bakugan?
I do.
And it's been a while since something has happened.
Oh, we can't hear you very well.
What's going on? Your mic is on.
Dude, I'm dead in the water. I just fell.
Move the microphone.
You got jostled
There you go.
around with it. How's that?
Yeah.
There you go. Hey! All right. But, like, Bakugan, for those of you who don't know, was a game that you could play that mixed cards and magnetic marbles. And you would roll the magnetic marbles onto the cards that were made out of metal, and they would pop out into different shapes. Sometimes a dragon, sometimes like a turtle or a tiger or a cyclops or a warrior. And I watched the show first because there was a Pokemon movie. The 10th one was Darkrai, right? And it was Dialga and Palkia fighting. And immediately after that movie,
I remember that movie.
The Bakugan show was on, and I actually have the tape. I taped it back when we had a VHS, and immediately after the Darkrai movie was the Bakugan series premiere, and it has the opening on it. And sometimes I just watch it just for kicks because the show was really good, the game was really good. But here's what drove it into the ground. Okay, they tried to add too many new things too fast. Because Season 1 Bakugan is arguably the best. I'm not trying to be a Gen 1er here. I'm just saying it because it was simple. It was clean. The designs were really good. The character development was really good in the anime. The cards were simple. They did what they were supposed to do. I'm not going to go into the rules right now because it's a little bit too complicated. But Gen 2 was a little bit okay. It was like, okay, cool. So now instead of just marbles, we also have things like pyramids, cylinders, cubes, things like that called traps that you can drop into battle at any time.
Oh, I remember those. Yeah. They folded out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you had like a cube, you had a cylinder, you had a pyramid, and you had like it was really cool to see these things just drop in and like fold out in different shapes as well. And the anime with that one was like, it was alright, I guess. I mean, they did have a good guy using a dark type, which was really interesting to me, and I really liked him. And his name was Ace, I think, which is original. But but yeah, that was I liked the second series too because you had a bad guy using dark and a good guy using light, and that was pretty cool. And then the third season's where they kind of started to lose me because they were trying to pull a Digimon and add like weapons to the game.
Yeah. Okay. So. I was just about to say that, like, when I was younger, I would buy the toys and stuff, like, you know, and there was this one that I had that had another piece that was like a square, and like when you set it down and then you put that piece on top of it, like this huge like mechanical weapon came out, and like,
exactly,
you know, and it was cool, but like it kind of didn't make any sense.
It didn't.
Like, why? It's already a dragon. It doesn't need a big
bazooka.
Yeah, a big bazooka.
There was a thing that I had, and I think I still have it. It was called the third gen Bakugan would fold out, and there would be a flat section with two pegs that came out, and you would fit something called battle gear onto it. And it's like, you're a huge freaking dragon. Why do you need a Zukinator?
You breathe fire. Why do you need anything else?
Exactly. And the designs were pretty cool. It's just that it didn't make sense with the actual game itself. And then 4th gen, I didn't even pay attention to. Gundalian Invaders, I think. I didn't even. You lost me. I'm done. I'm out.
It was like a cool idea that fell flat on its face.
They tried to rush it too quickly.
I don't think that animals should have had it. I could have seen like warriors, like you said, like that having it, like swords and different things, and like that would have been cool. But I mean,
I think what would have been more appropriate for like the dragons would have been armor.
Yeah, like instead of a bazooka. Like,
yes.
Now, here's the thing. I came in from a bad perspective when I was younger. And that was, I watched the 4Kids edition.
Oh.
No.
Now, I've had a pretty bad opinion of it so far, and I gotta watch it again. I don't know, but like the 4Kids. Oh dear, we've had an accident in the room. But as I was gonna say, if you don't know about 4Kids, they translated Japanese anime terribly into English. The voice actors they chose were crazy bad, and they censored anything that was prolific at all. So, like, anything. So, like, someone was smoking, like, a cigarette in the show is like, nope, that's a lollipop now. And that actually did happen when the anime's One Piece.
Here we have we got a special treat for you folks. We actually have the first episode opening of the show here. So let's take a listen real quick, shall we?
Getting a little fan.
Let's live review this.
Ooh.
Cards started raining down
silent.
everywhere. At first, they seemed harmless enough, so a bunch of us kids invented this cool new game.
Memories coming back
That's when
right
we
now.
realized those cards weren't so harmless after all. They were packed with incredible powers from another world. My name is Dan, and together with my
Damn.
friends
Oh, I hated that girl.
I don't know why you did.
Marucho,
There's Ben right there.
And then here we have the Bakugan edition of
not to
Sasuke.
mention Mr. Hotshot himself, Shun. Ninja.
Okay, real quick thing about her. This girl right here gave me the biggest freaking plot twist of my entire childhood.
I forget what it was. What
The
was
main villain's name, it'll show him in the opening,
Bakugan,
but
one goal, 2 worlds.
What are you gonna do? The odds are stacked against you.
the blonde dude with the mask.
it? Yeah.
You see him, how he's using dark types? Okay, legitimately, that girl that I showed you is him. And the voices are nothing alike. But apparently, she's been possessed by negative energy or something.
That was so the girl was wearing the mask and no one knew.
Nobody knew because it's a guy. Yeah, she turns into a guy when she puts on the mask.
We don't support transgenderism here.
Yes, we
No,
do.
what are you talking? Oh no, skip past this.
But we're
done.
not going. We're not getting into that issue.
Just joking
but
here.
Apparently,
Don't worry.
inside the mask was like an evil spirit that would possess her body
Oh.
and take over and like change her body into his form. And there was one character who coincidentally was named Joe, and I thought when I first saw Joe, I'm like, he's Masquerade. It's him. It's him. He's talking too calm. He's got the same kind of like medium voice, you know.
Yeah.
He's got freaking the main villain Bakugan's sister thing. It's him. It's totally him. They're gonna both switch at the same time. And then I saw them fighting, and I was like, oh, okay, this has got like, is this like an internal battle? Are they fighting in his mind or whatnot? No. When I see Alice, that's the girl's name, turn into Masquerade and put on the or take off the mask and it's her, I'm like,
Yeah.
you know, I'm like, what is this?
Man,
What does this mean?
You guys are talking about all these old cartoons. It's just like bringing up old memories of all the ones I used to watch.
Oh gosh.
You know what was the best Cartoon Network cartoon?
Cartoon Network, which was a chowder. It's gotta be chowder.
It was that one's good, but I mean, like the best one from like a movie standpoint that came from movies was like definitely the Star Wars, the Clone Wars. I love those. I don't want to start an argument, but
I'm not a Star Wars guy here. I don't
Well,
really have an opinion.
I'm
Well, I
a
mean, look at
mediocre-
me. I got 2 Star Wars tattoos. Like,
I mean,
so,
I'm
it-
a mediocre Star Wars fan. I didn't watch the Clone Wars at all. Believe it or not, there was actually a Nintendo DS game for it that I had.
Yeah, I know.
And
that
I
one.
played it, and I got stuck at one part because like it kept glitching out, and I couldn't beat it. And it's like, you know what? I think I'm done. You know. And I don't get me wrong, I am going to see The Last Jedi when it comes out.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, I haven't seen that trailer yet because they tend to be a little bit spoilery, and I'm not gonna.
It wasn't too bad, actually.
I'll take your word for it, but I'm still not gonna watch it.
It wasn't too bad. It was just like talking about some stuff. But all I know is that I'm excited for. I know this is a video game place, but I'm excited for the new Battlefront game. When Star Wars Battlefront 2 comes out, that's going to be on point.
Nice.
Because they're gonna touch on all subjects. They're gonna touch on like where we are now in the Star Wars universe and like everything before, and
Yeah.
it's just good stuff. Not to get off topic though.
Oh no, not at all. You're fine. All right. Up next, we're going to take a little bit. Speaking of retro games, this isn't necessarily retro, but we're going to take a little bit looking into the 8-bit section of games.
Oh boy.
And we're going to be playing some Shovel Knight from the Spectre of Torment, Facing the Task. That was Shovel Knight's Spectre of Torment, facing the task. Now, in our last couple moments here before we all die,
A miserable death.
I feel like we have like a little quiet time, you know. So my thing is voice acting and music. And by the way, folks, the next time I come in here, you're gonna get a real treat when I bring my tenor sax. But anyways, what?
Is it coming to the juice too?
If it wants to go in the juice,
I
it'll go in
think
the
it
juice.
does.
It can come into the juice
I think we
anytime
should
they want.
dip it.
I can play
Dip it in the juice.
Dude, I'd play a mean Imagine Dragons believer.
Yeah.
Yeah, bring it into the juice, man. Everybody needs to
excited.
hear this. Morning people, afternoon people,
Yeah, everybody.
whatever people.
All right, but for also,
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
anyways, Ben, what can you do
What do you mean?
in terms of art or voice or music or anything? What can you do? You said you played percussion.
I play percussion, but I wasn't good at it.
Okay, what are you good at?
Musically, nothing.
Or anything in general? What are you good at?
Oh, okay. I mean, I can get into what major I'm getting to, and I guess I'm good at math.
Really?
Yeah,
Do you enjoy it though?
I like it better than I do English.
I'm the opposite. I love English.
Yeah, I'm more on that side. English and arts is my thing, but math's you. I can't do math.
There's the girl that I was telling you guys about.
Yeah.
She keeps trying to get me to help her with her math homework, and I'm like, I'm out. I don't need to do that
Well,
anymore.
Ben-
I'm done.
Ben.
Oh no!
Ben!
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
No. Oh yes.
Oh,
I mean, it
yeah.
kind of ties into the degree I'm getting towards, and that's nuclear engineering.
Ooh wow.
He wants to blow stuff up. Not just
Yeah.
I mean.
If I could successfully make a nuke in my own backyard.
Let's
no. Okay, yeah.
I value my life.
Here's
okay?
my question. I got a question for him now.
all
So
right.
on the show that we do in the morning, you're never that controversial. What happened? Like you just went to class and you're like,
No, it's because he's here with me.
Yeah,
okay?
he's just going crazy.
It's because he's here
He's
with me.
just going
Do you know, every time we see each other in the hallway, I met him on the bus, okay?
No, me too. No
Yeah.
way. I met him on the bus.
I meet everybody on the bus.
He's a mobile person. But like I met him on the bus and I started talking with him, and then like for 3 weeks I think it was, every time we saw each other either on the bus or in the hallway, we would just greet each other by going, boy. And like that, and then I found out that he's doing the radio show too, and I'm like, dude, perfect timing.
Yeah, and like
So-
I know you from a class. I mean,
Yeah, we have a class together too.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, so
I
it's
don't even notice
it's
each
pretty
other.
nice. It's
See, I
nice.
brought two worlds together and smashed it into one.
You are the glue that holds us together.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you know what that glue's made out of?
Horses' hooves.
Juice.
No, it's made out of milk.
Oh.
And
Oh.
you know, milk is also juice.
Oh yeah.
Why are we doing this?
Lactate.
Stop.
I told you it's getting it's time. It's time to stop.
Alright, I think we've been doing this for the heat is getting to me in this hot box here. I think it's for those of you who don't know, there was a man that was just outside of our window just shaking his head at us slowly.
That was Tim.
Tim,
By the way, Tim, you're fired.
you're fired. But anyways, we hope you enjoyed this little game corner. We're gonna leave you off with some more commercials, but until next week. I don't know. I need to sign off. I need to sign off.
We'll see you next time.
No,
Yeah,
not even that.
yeah,
No,
right.
I
That's
got
good.
this. It's we'll see you next time. No, but I think I don't know.
You got to really come up with something. You're live here. You better do it fast.
Yeah.
I know. Don't pressure me. Don't pressure me.
Right now.
Peer pressure. Peer pressure.
On the next time we power up this console, we're gonna have a saxophone here, and hopefully, no Max.
Thank God.
Oh, we do a power off.
But for now, it's time to power down.
Power off.
Shows representative on October 11th from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. in the ASO Books Library. If any questions, contact Core Services at area code 440-525-7222 or visit them in room A39.
The Guide's Guide to Lawnfield. Award-winning writer Faye Schulten's two-person play explores what happens when a young man is introduced to a very special tutor. Joe is an 18-year-old history geek, an unabashed fan of James A. Garfield. While leading a tour to the late president's manor home, he encounters a visitor who's particularly adamant that he gets the story right. Along the way, Joe discovers a story he will want others to tell.
To my dad, I apologize greatly.
The Guide's Guide to Lawnfield. Award-winning writer Faye Schulten's two-person play explores what happens when a young man is introduced to a very special tutor. Joe is an 18-year-old history geek, an unabashed fan of James A. Garfield. While leading a tour to the late president's manor home, he encounters a visitor who's particularly adamant that he gets the story right. Along the way, Joe discovers a story he will want others to tell about him. So, this is gonna take place, this is Wednesday, October 11th. That's gonna be at, all these are gonna be at the Road Horse Performing Arts Center. So this one, the first one's Wednesday, October 11th. That's gonna start at 12 to 2. Then you got Thursday, that's October 12th. That's also 12 to 2. And then, oh boy, Friday the 13th. That's very scary. Be very careful that night. Friday the 13th, ooh, 7:30 to 9:30. That's gonna take place. And then also you got Saturday, that's a safer date, the 14th.